Hey everyone, today we're diving into something that's just so useful, making comparisons in Spanish. And here's the best part. It's not some random set of rules. It's actually a system, a set of patterns. Once you see them, you'll be comparing things like a pro. So let's get right into it. I mean, who hasn't, right? Being able to compare stuff is like a conversational superpower. It's how you share your opinion, make a choice between two things, describe the world with a lot more flavor. And that's exactly what we're going to get you doing by the end of this. So here's our game plan. We'll start with the basics, more than and less than. Then we'll see how to say things are equal. After that, we're going to meet a few special VIP words, the rule breakers. We'll wrap up with the ultimate comparison and then a little practice round to make sure it all sticks. Sound good? Let's go. All right, first things first. We are starting with the absolute bedrock of Spanish comparisons. This is the one you're going to use all the time whenever you want to say something is more or less of some quality. And check this out. Here's the magic formula. It is so simple. You just take your adjective and you wrap it. You basically sandwich it between más and be for more than, or menos and que for less than. That's the core of it. It's a clean little pattern you can just use over and over again. Okay, let's see what that looks like in the wild. My house is bigger than your house. See that? We just took grande and put más right before it and que right after. Simple. And for less than, it's the same exact deal. This book is less interesting. You just swap in menos. The framework itself, it doesn't change one bit. Okay, now here's a really crucial point, so listen up. You can't just forget your basic Spanish grammar, right? The adjective still has to agree with the noun. So if we're talking about movies, plural, las películas, well, the adjective has to be plural too, más largas. It's a small detail, but it makes all the difference in sounding natural. So we've got more than and less than down. But what if things are, well, the same? This is the balancing act. And Spanish has a couple of really cool ways to handle this, depending on what you're comparing. And this is a super important split, so pay close attention. If you're comparing qualities, like being tall or fast, you use tan como. But if you're comparing the amount of something, a quantity of nouns like books, you switch to tanto como. And see that little O on tanto? That's your clue that it has to change to match the noun. Tanto, tanta, tantos, tantas. It's gotta agree. Let's put those side by side so you can really see it. For an adjective, alto, it's tan alto como. Easy. But look what happens when we switch to a noun, libros. The whole phrase becomes tantos libros como. You see how tantos now agrees with the plural masculine libros? That is the key thing to remember here. All right, so you know how every language has those weird exceptions to the rules? Spanish has a few, but instead of thinking of them as difficult, let's call them the VIPs of comparison. They're so special, they don't follow the regular rules, they have their own. And here they are, your VIP list. You're definitely going to want to memorize these four. So for better, you don't say más bueno, you just say mejor. For worse, it's not más malo, it's peor. And when you're talking about age, we use mayor for older and menor for younger. That's the whole club right there. Okay, this is probably the single most important rule about these VIPs, so let this really sink in. Mejor already means better. So saying más mejor is like saying more better in English. It's just redundant and wrong. The same goes for peor. These words, they stand on their own. They don't need any help from más. And look how clean this makes your sentences. Este restaurante es mejor que el otro. See? The word mejor just slots right in. It's so much smoother and just sounds right. And now for the grand finale, the top tier, the ultimate comparison, the superlative. We're not just talking better anymore. We are talking about being the best, the biggest, the smartest, the fastest. This is how you make one thing stand out from the entire group. And believe it or not, there's a simple little recipe for this too. It's just 3 steps. 1, grab the right article for your noun, el, la, los, or las. 2, add más for most or menos for least. And step 3, pop in your adjective. That's it. That's the whole recipe. Let's try out that recipe. To say she is the smartest, we take la because it's ella, we add más, and then the adjective, inteligente. Boom. La más inteligente. And notice that little word de? That tells you what group she's the smartest in. Same idea for the second one, el menos caro, the least expensive, del barrio, in the neighborhood. Okay, you have seen all the formulas, you've met the VIPs, you have all the pieces of the puzzle. Now it's time to put it all together and make sure this really sticks. Let's do a quick practice run. But first, just a quick reminder of the two biggest traps to avoid. Number one, saying más mejor. Just don't do it. And number two, forgetting to make your adjectives agree. Okay, got it? Cool, let's try one. Okay, first up, how would you complete this sentence? Mi coche es más rápido que el tuyo. My car is faster than yours. What are those two missing words? I'll give you a second. Did you get it? It's más que. Mi coche es más rápido que el tuyo. That's our basic formula for more than. Awesome job. All right, next one. This is a VIP test. Which one is correct here? Este libro es más mejor or just mejor que el otro? You know this one. Yes, of course it's mejor. Este libro es mejor que el otro. Remember, those VIPs, they don't need any help. Fantastic. Okay, last one. This is the final challenge, and it really brings it all together. How would you say, this movie is the best of the year? Now think about it. The best is a superlative, and best comes from one of our VIP words. How do you combine those two ideas? Okay, ready? The answer is, esta película es la mejor del año. We use the superlative article la and put it right in front of our VIP word mejor. If you got that, you are absolutely crushing it. You've really got these patterns down. Seriously, great work today.